Welcome back to Phinys Garage. I'm Gray, and this is my 1996 Mitsubishi Montero, or what's left of it at least. I got this as a parts car to help with the restoration of my 1999 Gen 2.5 Montero. I found that it was cheaper to buy a parts car than it would be to buy all the parts individually. Today we're going to be removing all of the doors. We're even taking off the rear cargo hatch. This will give us plenty of room to remove all the seats. Anyways, let's jump right into it. The only thing that's left to do is to take off these 6 bolts and then maybe remove some wiring or some cabling, and the door should just come right off. Before we can fully take out the bolts for the door, we need to disconnect all the wiring so that the door isn't hung up when we take it off. I put this tape on here because since we took the door latch off, whenever there's a really windy day, it kind of just blows in the wind and goes everywhere. We need to disconnect this little arm here. So I'm just gonna use a hammer and push this pin out. The only thing left that we have to remove is this tubing here. I'm sure there's a plug somewhere on the inside here that I can't get to. So we're gonna cut the cables from the door. That way we make sure we're not gonna mess up anything. Now that the cables are dealt with, we can remove the 6 bolts from the car. There's 2 ways we could take off the door. We could take off the hinge with the door, or we could just take off the door itself. But I think since we're not keeping the body of this car, it'd be smart to take the hinges with us. They're gonna be on the body really tight, so I'm gonna use a mallet to try to bang them loose. That's 1 door down, 4 more to go. Now we just have to repeat all those steps with all these other doors. Luckily for us, the back passenger doors only have 4 bolts instead of the 6 like the front ones do. Before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to remember we need to take off this seal here so we can cut the wires to the door. And it looks like there's a connector right here, but I'm not gonna deal with the tape, so we're just gonna cut it behind the connector. That way someone can still use it. Unfortunately, this door does not open from the outside, which means probably one of the plastic pieces that connects the rods to the handle probably snapped off, maybe of old age. So we have to open it from the inside. Pretty easy, just push on the handle and it opens right up. We'll use our hammer here and just knock this little pin out. We need to pull this out. Moving on to the driver's side of the car, I think it'd be easier to disconnect all the wiring, take out all the bolts on all the doors, and then get help to remove all of them at once. I don't know what this stuff is. It looks like glue. It almost looks like wood putty that's coming out of here. I don't know what that is, but these holes are all filled with them, even up at the top. Just gonna pull on it here and see if we can put our screwdriver down in there. Yank that on out of there. I see the connector, I think, yep. Take our hammer to this pin. And that one just popped right out. So we're gonna take this little dude and we're gonna put him on this side with his other friends. 3 is a trio. We're holding back on this door. Now we're gonna move to this door. There's the connector, and we're gonna cut just past it. That way, if somebody wants to buy this door, they can just unhook this, and then it plugs right into their wiring harness on their car. This door's kind of wonky. You have to push down like this, and yeah, it just opens right up. Let's take this pin out real quick. The trio just got upgraded to a quad. Yeah, these 2 bolts here. Loosen that one, and we'll go full blast on this one. Take this one. This rear door went from taking a little bit of time to a lot of time now. And that's because unlike the other doors where we can just pull on this cable here and then cut it, well, the connector is actually inside the quarter panel. And we can't pull this back far enough to find the connector to cut it, which means we have to remove this interior quarter panel trim piece. And in order to do that, we have to take off this piece, loosen up this piece, and then take these push pins out. Then we should be able to reach our hand back there, find that cable, and cut it. Luckily for us, it's only 2 screws that hold on this top trim panel piece. We could just take this one screw off so we can get access to this panel, but we want to take as many parts off this car as we can. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this trim panel piece. So it should just pop out. I think there might be some clips on the back side. Oh, look at all that dust that came out. Whoa. Sandy. Next step is we need to take off this trim panel. And it looks like we got to take out this seatbelt bolt before we can do anything else. That looks like a 17 or a 19. I'm gonna say it's probably a 17. And it is in fact 17. I'm just gonna leave this bolt in the seatbelt for the time being. Don't wanna lose it. Now we gotta take out these push pins. Well, that one broke off. I was gonna say we gotta be careful not to break them because they are textured to this car to match the interior. And I think trying to buy replacements would be really difficult. But I think they're probably gonna break off on us anyways. Let's see, I might actually just pull this out if we can. It did not break. I don't know where it went though. I think it fell in the grass. Man, we gotta find that because it's really hard to find right now, but we'll find it eventually. We need to remove this. I'd like to keep it with this piece, but I don't think we can. Oh wait, yeah we can. I'll just screw it back in right here. Try not to lose anything. Trying my best, honestly. Temporarily put you right there. I've noticed that a lot of these little hook things on these cars break off fairly easily. You always find like the top broken off. I don't know why that is. Maybe people are just like roughhousing them or something. We'll put him in the throttle body for right now. Yeah, top's breaking off. Oh well. You know, now that we do have this little tiny top, we might be able to actually make something of this. We might have to get a push pin, like glue it to the top or something like that. We'll put you in the throttle body too so we don't lose you. That push pin, push you through. Bam. Now that should be everything that's holding this top panel on over here. It should just pop right off. Oof. You know what? Let's go ahead and take off that seat belt, and that way we can just take this whole trim panel off. Let's finish it off with the impact here. Make it a little bit easier for us. It looks like we'll be removing the seats sooner than I anticipated. I thought by removing this trim panel, it would give us enough room, but there's too much tension between the third row seat and the fender well. So let's take out this seat. It's only being held on by 4 size 12 bolts. That's 1 seat down and 4 more to go. I've already taken the frame off this chair because we used it on the 99 Montero, so there's no bolts to undo. We're just gonna lift up and it comes right out of the car. That cleared up a ton of room, but look at how much of a mess it made. There's literally stuff everywhere, even tons of stuff from the previous owner. That's pretty disgusting. I'm gonna make a separate video on how to remove the second row seats on the Montero, as I think it's gonna be really useful. They can be pretty tricky to get out, so in the meantime, we're gonna get out the passenger seat. Like all the other seats, it's gonna be a size 14. There's only 4 bolts. These plastic covers can be a pain to get out of the way. I would just take a screwdriver and pop it out. You won't be able to get an impact in there, so you'll either have to use a wrench or a ratchet. The bolt on the other side is in a really snug place. To gain access to it, we need to push in on the lever and move the seat forward. This will give us enough room to where we can use a screwdriver, pry up on the plastic cover that's covering the screw, and then we can take it out. That's all 4 bolts, so we should just be able to grab this seat. I'm gonna lean it forward and turn it out towards us here. And it comes right out. And there we have it. 3 out of the 5 seats removed. Imagine sitting in the second row seat and trying to drive this car. I mean, my feet kind of reach the pedals. Like this. It's just a little out of reach, but you would look pretty cool doing it though. If you want to see more videos on the teardown of the 96 Montero, consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. But until next time, I will see you later. Have an amazing day.